bathroom pass. So as a reminder, the bathroom pass is on the back wall. And you're welcome to use it, but if you're using it, just go to the bathroom. If you need to go somewhere else, then come and tell me. So we're assuming that you're using that bathroom pass and you're going to be back within 5 minutes. So if you know you're going to be gone longer than 5 minutes or you're going somewhere other than the bathroom, then come and tell me. But if it's the pass, did somebody use it already? Okay. Make sure you put your name and the time as you leave. Question number 1, it says function g is defined by g of x is equal to 3 times x plus 8. What is the value of g of 8? So what do I do for this problem? We did it on the worksheet. What do we do? Say that one more time. Yeah, we're just plugging in 8 for x. So we can rewrite it. 3, we're plugging in 8 for x. So now as we evaluate 8 plus 8, what is that? 16. And then we've got 3 times 16. Very good. That is it. Any questions over that one? So when you see this question on your quiz, you take whatever value it says in here. It's not an x, it's a number. And so you take that and you plug it in to the equation. The next one. So you should have gotten a paperback. It's on the back of worksheet number 2. On the back of worksheet number 2 at the top. So for this one, it's saying it wants us to find m. What does m stand for? Slope. Good. Slope. So to find slope, we have to go up and then we have to go over. So for our picture, we have to figure out and looking at it, and it's kind of weird because this problem gives it to us and there's no numbers, right? That's okay. So we just look at it and we see from here to here, it's going up some value of r. So it's going up r. And then it's going over this distance, it's saying is s. So we go up r and then over s. I hear your papers. So when we write our slope, what is it for this problem? It's rise over run, so r over s. Layla, when you take the bathroom pass, please make sure you write down your name and the time, okay? Again, it's kind of weird because it's R's and S's, but it's not asking you to find a number value. It's just asking you to find the slope. Next question. In the XY plane, point C has the coordinate 6, 9. What's the equation of the line that contains point O and C? Does anybody know what point O is actually referring to? To what? Yeah, it's referring to the origin. So it goes through this point right here and this point right here. And it says that point C, it's the point 6, 9. So to get there, I'd have to go over 6 and then I go up 9. It wants us to find an equation. To have an equation, we need 2 things. What are the 2 things we need? Y equals mx plus b. What are the 2 things we need? Yeah, y-intercept and slope. So we need m and b. We need to know what is m and what is b. For this one, the b or the y-intercept is pretty easy. Where does it go through the y-axis? 0. To find the slope, it's just how far up and how far over do you go. So for this one, I go up 9 and then I go over 6. And since it's going up, it's positive. So 9 over 6. Does that reduce? Yeah. How can we reduce that? 3 over 2. So to write my equation, y equals mx plus b, I just need to know m and I need to know b. I know those. So it's 3 over 2. As I was looking through some of your warm-ups, please make sure that when you put the x does not go down there. It can go beside it, or it can be up with the 3, but it does not go in the denominator. That would be incorrect. And then do we have to write plus 0? No. The next question, an equation of the line that contains the origin in the point 3,1 is, okay, well, the origin is at 0. And 3,1, we need to go plot that point. So we'll have to go over 3 and then up 1. Bless you. And this creates a line, so I could create a line. To make my equation, I need m and I need b. B is easy for this one. Where does it cross the y-axis? 0. To find my slope, remember slope is how far up, how far over do you go? So this one, we go up and then over, we go up 1 and then over 3. Does that reduce? No, so we just leave it like that. So we've got our equation, y is equal to 1/3. Again, the x can go out to the side, but it does not go in the denominator. Do I have to write plus 0? That's it. Question number 5. In the XY plane, a line crosses the y-axis at the point 0, 3. Okay, so y-axis, remember we can look, there's a little y up here. So along the y-axis, we're going to go to 3 and put a point. And it passes through the point 4, 5. So let's plot that point 4, 5. So we go to the right 4 and then we go up 5 and we put a point. It should say write an equation of the line. Remember, I take the quiz and I just delete all the multiple choice and I give you the question. So again, those of you that are paying attention should do really well. We have to find an equation. What 2 things do we need for an equation? I need m and I need b. What is the y-intercept for this one? 3. It's not 0, it's 3. And then to find my slope, how far up do I go? Do I go 3? I think that you go up 2 and then you go over 4. So 2 over 4, does that reduce? To what? 1/2. Very good. So I write my equation. Y equals 1/2, and the x can go out to the side, but it does not go in the denominator. And this time it's not, we don't stop there because we also have to do plus 3. Are we good with the front? On the back, it says, which of the following could be the graph of x is equal to y minus 1? Have we done any x equals equations? No. What is, how does it always start out when it's the equation of a line? Y equals, well, so when it says x equals, that's a problem. So if it says x equals, that's a problem. We need it to be y equals. So we've got x and y on either side, but I want it to be y equals. So what if we just got rid of this -1 and moved it over here so that the y is by itself? If we're subtracting 1, then what do we do to get it to the other side? Add 1. So when we add 1, we end up with x plus 1, and it doesn't matter if you put the y on the left or the right. Now I have a y equals equation. Now you can find the graph. If you do not change it so that it's y equals, then you're going to pick the wrong graph. So from my equation, what is my slope and what is my y-intercept? Well, what is the slope for this one? Do what? It's 1. Another way to write it is 1 over 1. And what about the y-intercept? It's also 1. Okay, so let's go find our graph. It's got to cross the y-axis at 1. So that's at -1. That's at -1, +1, and +1. So it cannot be A or B because those don't cross at 1. And then when I look at my slope, it's positive, right? So it needs to go up from left to right. This one is going down, so it would have been a negative. So it has to be C. Please do not just eyeball it and pick whichever answer. Please go through the steps. I have a lot of students every year that miss that question, and you don't need to miss that question. The next question, in the XY plane, point B has the coordinate 4, 6. What's the equation of the line? Have we done this question already? Yes. I want you to do it on your paper. I'm going to do it on the board. Let's see if you get it right. Logan, do you need to turn around and be at your own table? How did you do on this problem? Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Did anybody else do that? No. Did anybody else hopefully do what Juliet did? How did y'all do? Who said they did the same thing? Was that you, David? You did the same thing I did? Yeah. Don't make that mistake. Don't do that. And don't erase what you did if you got something different. Ask me. It's still early for me too, friends. So how many problems have we done so far that are basically the same kind of problem? A few of them, right? Okay, so one way that you can think about slope when you're looking at your point. So it's always the second number, which is, you've got what your point is X and Y. Slope is always the Y over the X when you're going through the origin. So it will always end up being the second number over the first number. Question number 8. And this is an open-ended question on your test. So we're going to start doing more and more open-ended and not multiple choice, because at the end of the year, if you have not passed TSI, you are going to take the ACC final, and that is all open-ended, no multiple choice. So we're going to start doing a little bit more and a little bit more, not multiple choice questions, as we start to prepare for the ACC final. So for this one, the question is asking for the slope and the y-intercept. Can you see what the y-intercept is? What is it? 3. I don't care if you write it like that, or you can write it as a 0.03. Either way is okay with me. You don't have to write it both ways, but either way is okay. To find my slope, it doesn't really matter which other point you pick, but you've got to pick another point where it crosses exactly on one of the coordinate corners. So you could use this point right there. It crosses exactly right there. For this one, it's different than all the problems we've done so far, because to get from one point to the next, and you always read a graph from left to right, just the way we read books or sentences, you read from left to right. From left to right, I have to go down. So I can't just put 3. I have to say -3. I go down, and then I go over 2. Does that reduce? What does it reduce to? No. Question number 9. It's asking for the slope and the y-intercept from the equation. Do it. Put it on your paper. Do it. What is the slope? The slope is always attached to the x. So the slope is -3 over 4. When you put it on your paper and it's an open-ended question, do not put the x. If you put the x, I will take off a point. The x does not go with it. And then what is the y-intercept? -8. Again, I don't care if you put -8 or if you put 0, -8. It's the same thing to me. Question number 10. The amount of money M in dollars Joseph earns can be represented by the equation M is equal to 12.5 H plus 11, where H is the number of hours Joseph works. What is the best interpretation in the number, or for the number 11 in the equation? Word problems are typically the thing that we tune out, and I read that. I'm just going to circle one. Well, you can do it. Most of the word problems, especially on TSI, are not difficult. You just have to read them. So it's asking what the number 11 represents. It tells us that M is dollars. That's what he's making. So that's the money he's making, is equal to 12.5. What does the H represent? Hours. Plus 11. So pretty much it says that the money he makes is $12.50 an hour plus 11. So your hourly is $12.50, right? And then we're adding something to it, right? Okay, so I would say that it's money that he gets in addition to his hourly, right? Sure, it could be. In this problem, it's 11, so we don't know if every week he gets 11 or whatever. But it's simply just money he earns in addition to his hourly. Just money he's making in addition to something. Sure. You are going to make sure that you have your name on your paper and you will turn it in. If you answered all the questions with me, it should be a really easy 100. Because you're sleeping on that hard bed, Sandra. We just got a new bed last year and I didn't like it because it's a memory foam bed. And so, like, it's all like foam. Like it's just all foam. And so then we just got a new bed over Thanksgiving's break. And I made us get the better bed because I wanted it to be softer. And so it was like, oh, there's this bed and then there's this bed. And we're gonna get this bed, and it was more expensive. And then I got and I didn't want a foam bed. I wanted one with springs because I like a spring. And then I ordered a foam to put on it, even though our old bed was foam and I didn't want it. And so then he was like, why are we getting a foam bed top? Because you didn't want foam bed. This is just the way that I just want it to be. Well, then foam kind of makes you hot when you sleep. So like he's been complaining because he's too hot. Well, okay, then I'll get another thingy to put on top of. So our bed is like this tall now because I keep putting stuff on top of our bed. And I just keep thinking about you and your hard bed and how much you like it. And I just think I could not want something more opposite. Like I want it to be a hard bed. Soft. That's my problem, that I need a really hard bed. I sleep better. I sleep on the floor. Why would you sleep? All right, I am passing out your quiz as you get it. You put your worksheets away. I don't care if you leave out your mystery picture, that's fine, but put the worksheets away.
I already tell what you took about the question is. Just looking at it.
I hope so. These problems are very, very similar to what we just did. However, you still need to read them because some of them are just slightly different. I may have changed the numbers. So please read the problems so that you don't miss them. But if it's something silly, like you realize the number. And it's 9:39, so that means you have so much time. There is no reason for you to rush through this quiz. You have enough time to read every question.
Wait, it's not. It's not.
Oh, I switched. It's fine. Scribble. Oh, did you write anything on it yet? Right. Okay, you didn't write. Again, please read every problem carefully because not all of them are exactly the same from the practice worksheet. So just read every problem. You've got plenty of time.